Wow. Okay, now I'm going to take you outside into the world of sports. I'll begin with just imagine you are swimming in an open sea for almost 4 kilometers, and then you cycle for 180 kilometers, and then at the end you finish it with a full marathon, 42.2 kilometers. Yes, that is an Ironman race. On October the 2nd, 2016, I became the first Egyptian mother, more importantly, over the age of 50, to finish a full Ironman race. Yes. I am Egyptian, I am a mother, and I am an athlete. 3 identities in one. Back home in Egypt, becoming an athlete makes these 3 identities in one appear to be paradoxical, incompatible even. Yet the 3 identities have evolved from a simple habit of responding with, why not, every time I meet a challenge. That challenge was the Ironman, and it was way out of my comprehension, out of my comfort zone. Above all, it absolutely did not conform to the strict expectations and norms of the society I come from. This is my story. In 1990, I graduated with a business degree, and I went straight into a banking career following my mother's footsteps. And I remained in this career for 3 years, and I decided then, after the 3 years, I am going to marry my college sweetheart and move abroad and stand by his side as he finishes his PhD degree. Everybody around me, why leave your career? Why not? My ambition was to continue my postgraduate studies with my husband, but it didn't happen because of the birth of our 2 sons. Still, I was determined to find something else for myself. And I found it, running. Every day, early in the morning, I would find people running in the street. They looked happy, healthy, and safe too. And I said to myself, why not? Join them. And I started running with them, and someone noticed that my pace was very well. And they said, would you like to join a 5K community race with us? And again, why not? I joined the race. This 5K led to a 10K, 15K, 21K, and by the time my husband finished his PhD degree, I finished a full marathon. So we returned back home in Egypt with a PhD degree, a full marathon medal, and 2 toddlers. And the runner inside me wanted to continue to run. But I received the biggest cultural shock in my life. Running in Cairo, Egypt, in the streets of Cairo, Egypt, is not at all like running in Denton, Texas. Whew. So it was a frightening obstacle course, really, something so different. And I hardly found anyone running early in the morning, let alone a woman. But then again, I said that distinctive moment of why not? Just give it a try and run around the neighborhood. So I would run around, take my kids first down to the school bus, drop them off, and run around just a block. Was it easy? No, it was not. It was like showing up in a funeral wearing a party hat. I received strange gazes. Strange gazes. What's this crazy woman running away from? I was harassed. I was even grabbed, unfortunately. Stray dogs running behind me, cars viciously denying me the right of way. But I continued, and day by day, it wasn't the same as Denton, Texas, but it did get better. The newspaper man, the porter, the taxi drivers who gave me a hard time in the beginning, now as they see me regularly, started to become my social network of friends and support. Actually, they were my protectorate, because if something happened to me and they like seeing me run every day, they will protect me from any harassments, especially. What happened was the most important thing really is that they started respecting the idea of a woman like me running early in the morning. And eventually I finished 17 full international marathons. Then my kids graduate from high school and they went straight into college, and my husband got tenured at university, and another challenge comes up. I discovered the world of triathlons. Why not? Something new to me, different, but I discovered it and I said, why not? So at the age of 48, I go and I buy a bike and I join a tri group. Most of them were the age of my kids. The sport at the time in Egypt was dominated mainly by young male athletes. You can count on your hands how many women. And I was the only mother in my tri group. The outside voices, again, to me, are you kidding? A mother on a race bike? How ridiculous. Act your age. And I did not want that to discourage me or intimidate me. And deep down inside, I said to myself, why not? Why can't an Egyptian mother be a triathlete or do a triathlon in her own country? And so I continued training, and I did my first duathlon race. It was a combination of cycling and running, no swimming as I was still learning how to swim. But 6 months later, I was able to finish my full Olympic distance. And that included swimming. And not only that, I ranked among the top 5 women, being the only mother. So these young athletes come to me now. They started really believing in me. And they said, we're going to do double the distance abroad, something called a half Ironman. And I said to myself, why not? Half Ironman. The outside voices again, are you crazy? You're going to go follow these kids' dreams? The Ironman challenge started to become a reality. And it was another case of why not? So I immediately registered for the half Ironman in Barcelona, and I received tons of sarcastic remarks. The one that hurt me the most was, are you leaving your kids and your husband behind to do such a crazy race abroad? Why not? Now, this comes from a society that typically expects the mother to be domesticated. Her sole purpose in life is to take care of her husband and her kids, and I'm supposed to forgo my dreams and ignore myself. And I was not going to let this happen. And so I continued training with my tri group, and 5 months later, I traveled to Barcelona for the race. No words can describe the horror and fear I felt when I discovered the conditions I had to face on race day. Rough, freezing water, thousands of participants standing beside me waiting to dive into that same sea. And I'm like, most of my training was done in a swimming pool with a black line underneath, and that was it. I actually had anybody share the lane with me. But then, why not? Just dive in, and one of those kayaks will save you if something happens. And I dived in. I came out to find another terrifying challenge. A mountain. I'm not used to mountains. We don't have mountains, at least in Cairo. It was all done on a flat route, most of my cycling. But 45 kilometers going up a twirling mountain and 45 going down without any walls or barriers to keep me from falling off the cliff. I wasn't trained for this. And that was a challenge. Again, why not? Just take it easy, cautiously, and pray. That's all I did. On that bike, I prayed, God, please get me up there. Please get me up there. And as soon as I got to the top, the worst was coming down. Unimaginable was the speed to me. And if I could hold on to the handlebars with my teeth, I would have. I just wanted to stay on the bike and not fall. And I decided not to pedal, let the force take me down, and to focus on focus on controlling the bike from going near the cliff so that I don't fall off. And I made it down in one piece. And I find I have 3 kilometers left to go. And I say to myself, calm down, enjoy this, you're done, the worst is over. And to relax my muscles, they were so tense. And I reach the end line, and I find the official coming to me, and I'm expecting he's going to give me a high five for finishing this tough course. And he tells me I'm disqualified. Disqualified? Why? I came in 1 minute late after the legal cutoff time. And I was devastated, in tears. I begged him, please, I had no idea. Let me continue the run. He wouldn't. So I returned back home to Egypt, bombarded with, we told you so, we told you so, this was not for you. And I, again, decided, why not? Why not? Another trial. So seeking my husband's permission, I was able to get his approval, and I went to register for the half Ironman in Barcelona, same challenging course. This time, I said I'm going to do it the right way. Expert help. I was able to find Khadija Amin, who is the first Egyptian woman to do the Ironman, full Ironman, and she was going to coach me. Before I started the program with her, I put in 3 targets that I had to meet in order to prepare me for this challenge. The first target was I had to go and look for a mountain in Egypt. So I found a group of cyclists, mainly men, again, a little bit above my kids' age. And I told them, they told me, we're training actually for a race to climb the Saada mountain. Where is this? It's in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. It's a 13-kilometer upright, not like this, upright, at an elevation of 800 meters above sea level, compared to 600 in Barcelona. And they were training to climb this mountain. And again, why not? If I could make it up to that mountain, definitely I'll be able to make Barcelona easily. And so I trained with them, and race day comes, and I go and I find 36 men on bikes and only 1 woman. And that was me. And I said, okay, forget it, I'm here for that mountain. I went for the mountain, and to the shock of these men and myself, I made it to the top. And not only that, I ranked number 24. So yes, this 49-year-old mom with 12 men still lagging behind her made it to the top. Second target was the swimming. Swimming was my weakest point, and I needed a long-distance swim. So I found a 10-kilometer swim, and I told my coach, 10K? I can't do a 10K. She said, don't worry, just reach the 3K, and that will be more than enough to get you to swim Barcelona comfortably. So I dive into the water, and I swim, and I reach the 3K, and deep down inside that, why not go for 5K? And so I reached the 5K. Why not another kilometer, and another, and another? And I made it. In 4 hours and 21 minutes, I finished 10 kilometers. Now that was way beyond my dreams, not even my wildest dream. I returned back, and I have 1 more target to go, and that's the running. I needed a long-distance run, and I found the Warsaw, Poland Marathon. I registered for that, and I went, and I did the run, and I finished it in a very good time, for me at least, 3 hours and 51. But then I found out it got me qualified for the #1 marathon in the world, Boston. Now that is any runner's dream. And I made it to Boston. I became actually the first Egyptian woman, not mother, woman to make it to Boston Marathon. I was ready. The Egyptian woman / mother / athlete in me was now ready to beat the odds. And I traveled to Barcelona, and I get into that water, and I finish the swim, and I climb that mountain and back down in 33 minutes, less than my last time, and I finish my half marathon in less than 2 hours, and I crossed that finish line in 6 hours and 55 minutes. I made it. I returned home to Egypt, and then another big why not moment. It was my birthday. I just turned 50 years old, and I said to myself, wow, Why can I not do being 50 years old to do this full marathon as a birthday gift? So I go to my husband and I ask him, please, will you allow me to go for the full Ironman for my birthday gift? So he looks me in the eyes and he holds me really tight and he says, okay, now you're a crazy woman. Crazy mom, actually. But he did agree and he did give me his full support. I registered for the full Ironman in Barcelona and I put in 7 grueling hours of intense workout daily, having to manage my training time with my family and my household duties. Also, Ramadan came in, our holy month, when I have to fast from dawn to dusk. So I had to navigate my training around that time. Fasting is not easy to train while you're fasting. And then, worst of all, was the summer heat of Cairo. I had to sacrifice the summer holiday with my family and stay put in Cairo's heat that reached almost 50 degrees Celsius, and I had to train in that. But I did my homework, and I finished it. Everything was done as supposedly according to my program given by my coach. And I believe the ultimate turning point in my life came when I traveled with my husband and my 2 boys to go to Barcelona and do the full Ironman. It was the same year, and I went into the water, and I dived, and I finished the 3.8 kilometers of swim smoothly. And then I went into the 180 kilometers of cycling and came back way beyond my predicted time. And then my favorite part of the race, the running. I go in and I find my 2 boys waiting for me. And they both decided, each one, to run 5 kilometers by my side, of course, outside the yellow line, so I don't get disqualified again. And they started running. They started running beside me, each one 5 kilometers, until I reached the kilometer 30. When I reached 30, something went wrong. My body was not functioning right. I was dizzy, I was nauseated, my muscles felt like tons of steel. I just could not move. And actually, I was on the verge of collapse until my kids, I started listening to their voices. They're not kids anymore, they're men, but they're still my kids. And they kept shouting at me, shouting, Mom, come on, go. You're making history for Egypt. You have to go. Don't quit now. And that really got to me. That Egyptian woman and mother and athlete in me became such a strong unit, and it really pushed me. And I started running again, and running, and they're right there beside me, even singing songs to keep my mind not worried about my physical body at the moment. And then I catch a glimpse of my husband. And this meant so much to me. He was there waiting for me, such a proud face, and he does not like running at all. He does not like running at all. And he sees me, and he runs for 200 meters. He runs for 200 meters, and he gets me to the red carpet. And as soon as I touch the red carpet, he pushes my back, and he says, Amany, now you can go for your dream. And I go on that red carpet, and I get my Egyptian flag out, and I wave it really high up. And I see the finish line, I see my name, and the moment I've been always waiting for, to hear the announcer announce, Amany, you are now an Ironman. And I passed the finish line, and I received my medal in tears, of course, tears of joy. But the impossible became possible. The 3 identities in me became the first Egyptian mother to finish a full Ironman. This was my journey. I broke the cultural barrier. I broke the age barrier. I broke the gender barrier. I even broke my physical and mental barrier just from asking myself, why not? So now I ask you, the next time you meet the unfamiliar, uncertain, uncomfortable challenge, will you ask yourself, why not? People still ask me until today, all the outside voices, what's next, Amany? What's next? And my response is the same as it has been for years. Why not? Thank you.